everyone. We are just about to get started here in just a minute or so. I'm going to let people a little bit more time to join here for the digital sales training today. I'm really excited about to go over some of the information that we've been really working hard at for the last little bit. Can't believe we're already halfway through the year. It blows my mind, and we're already halfway through the month. So it's like, okay, August is or July's just around the corner, and it's just going way too fast, I feel like. So let's just give it probably just 30 more seconds and we will get started. I'm going to go ahead and put in the link for the Amazon gift card giveaway, that $100. And just a reminder for that, you do have to be on the call at the very end. So if we call you and you're not here, so sad you won't get that $100. So please make sure you're there. If you have questions, feel free to definitely put that in the Q&A. I'll try to facilitate them throughout this training as well. And so let's go ahead and get started. Again, that link is in the chat. So a little bit of today's agenda. So obviously enter that giveaway, just mentioned that. Then we'll definitely be talking about audience and where we are, and then the different party datas. So I just want to emphasize that this is going to definitely be a topic of conversation moving forward. I know last month, Mark, my colleague, touched on this a bit. We're going to talk about some of the application of what the party data is and how to apply those to your account, as well, whether they're looking at other partnerships with different advertisers that you're partnering with or selling to, and then we'll discuss like national promotions, and then obviously pick a winner. So in case you have missed this, we've discussed this already. We are Aptivata is no longer, and audience is here. So this was, wow, this is a long time coming, and very, very excited from our team, our co-founders. It's hard to convey the excitement that is really happening here in audience. The vision that they have is really bought by all of us, and we are going full speed ahead with this, and we're very excited. So and kind of going into that, our main goals, and I mean our founders, we put into three key pieces, which are grow, enrich, and activate your first party data. And as mentioned before, this is I feel like even when we were Aptivata, this is truly has been our sole focus and goal for the last 10 years, is collecting and harnessing this first party data. And to kind of convey that, I wanted to show some of these data points that you might not be aware of. We've had over 600,000 campaigns created. We've had over 1 billion data points collected within that time frame, and over 800 million campaign interactions through those campaigns. We've partnered with we have connections with over 80+ integrations, which include different marketing and CRM tools, which are vital, especially moving forward in a lot of legal when it comes to passing this data over to your advertisers or partners, or just maintaining it yourself. We are completely compliant in those. And again, even before audience, I've been here for almost 5 years, and I feel like this has been such a core value and such a main focus, and we're able to finally really put an emphasis on that with the new brand change to audience. That's truly who we are, and it does say here, trusted with over 3,500 companies worldwide. Those are partnerships that we directly work with. That's not to even account for the thousands of businesses that have partnered with our partners in regards to this type of data points. And it really is an exciting piece as we look towards the future. So, and talking about data points and kind of going into first party data, I wanted to discuss some of the stats that kind of, they speak for themselves as I present, some of the reasoning on why we are going to be focusing so much on this conversation piece. When we look at, and these are conversations that you're going to be having, since you're in sales and you're having with your advertisers and partners, these are the conversations that that you will be having with them, and then some of the pain points that they might be experiencing. So for example, 71% of consumers feel frustrated when their shopping experience is impersonal. I feel like that's definitely, we can all agree at some point that it's, there's those moments that of irrelevance, and it's like, why am I seeing this, or why am I getting these ads, or why am I experiencing this? The next point kind of sums that up, with 70% of millennials are frustrated with brands sending irrelevant emails. I can't tell you enough. Like, I actually was created an email that was like, okay, I'm getting all these emails that just don't matter to me. And again, I think we can all relate to that at some point. 91% of consumers say they're more likely to shop with brands that provide offers and recommendations that are relevant to them. And again, the reason I'm talking about these data points is these are pain points that your advertisers or partners are trying to solve, right? And how do we solve those pain points and become their partnership, or their saving grace, or whatever you want to call it, that helps solve them? And if you can, what is the outcome of solving these pain points? Better relationships, higher revenue growth, increased ROI, and continual business, right? So those are all viable and valid reasons to solve these pain points. 80% of consumers are more likely to purchase from a brand that provides personalized experiences. That's absolutely true. I feel like if I'm given, and I know even with even just general targeted ads, or even emails that are specific to me, I'm going to Yellowstone, I'm going camping this week, even though it's closed. So we're still figuring that out. But with that same topic conversation, I've been looking at different tents, different things, and been getting different, have received different emails with different, coupon codes, kind of keeping me interested. And that type of experience, can we, think about it? Can you build promotions, and can you really help build and collect first party data that your advertiser can harness and engage with to help build from? And that's very, very, very important. So, and then 90% of consumers are willing to share personal behavioral data with companies for a cheaper and easier experience. I can speak for myself on that. 100% would agree. I would say like 99% of the time for me, if I know that I'm going to benefit from this, I'm more than willing to give out my personal information if it's a brand that is of my interest. If I can make the experience easier, or save me some money, whether it's taking a survey, opting into emails, those type of things. And so, with that all being said, we are all consumers, and sometimes we have to put ourselves in the consumer's shoes there, and think, okay, how can we build a promotion that would help engage them with our partners that we're working with directly? And I do, if you want the source of this, I can get you a source. This is part of the source was Forbes magazine partnered with numerous high-level companies such as Salesforce and others that provided these data points. So I could have provided 50 plus data points, but we can only go through so many of these. So I wanted to touch on these key ones. First party data, I don't want to go too in depth because Mark had already kind of discussed this, but I want to just emphasize that this data is information that, again, a user has willingly gave to you, and has provided to you. You own that data. I want to emphasize that you own that data. I have a lot of one-on-one conversations with stations and markets and even higher up that that you, as you're collecting this data, what can you do with it? Can you market to that data? Like, what really are you able to do? And there are a lot of options. There are options to build specific promotions, and I'm going to actually get into how you would be able to market to that first party data here in a moment. But as you see in the next tab here, it says multiple opt-ins. Are you, on every single promotion, are you providing an opt-in not only for your advertiser or partner that you're working with or that it's sold to? Are you also providing an opt-in for your station or TV or radio or your account that you're trying to grow your first party data? If you are not, I'm pleading with you to start doing that, because it really can change the way you interact with your audience, right? It's absolutely vital, because, and if you're not doing it, it's not too late, right? Start now, start getting these opt-ins, start collecting and start harnessing your first party data and managing that, because later on down the road, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to a year, there's going to be, another advertiser that you might sold to that fits as a very specific vertical that you sold to previously. And I will get to that second. That's part of second party data here in just a second. So first party data, it's a very trusted source. It's directly to you from the people who participate in these promotions. The value of this is definitely able to offer that personalized experience, right? That we just discussed about, that 90%. That's going to be a huge conversation piece as you talk to your advertisers and partners that you sold to, being able to say, listen, you will be able to offer some more personalized experiences. It's, not just a first name, last name, email. We're going past that. We're going to go past those data points and even get further in, so you can really harness that information and grow as much possible revenue as possible and see maximum return on investment there. So, example for that is, outside of even just this, right? You have a clothing company or clothing store, they're trying to gather as much information as possible from the foot traffic. And obviously people who are purchasing from them are already showing interest, but they're trying to actually grow their digital expansion as well, so that they can target new audience that they might not be able to just from, word of mouth, that type of thing. So here's some more of an example of this is like literally so much, right? You most likely wouldn't want to do this on every single promotion, right? But this is just to kind of convey some of that first party data that you can start pulling and getting and collecting, that you can then pass over to your partners, as I mentioned before. So outside of that first name, last name, you can do, city, zip code. You can get those email opt-ins. You can even ask questions throughout our form to help kind of direct, if you have if you're interested in knowing more specifics about who these users are, maybe you don't want to necessarily use our survey at the time, but you want to ask one of the questions here, you're more than welcome to do that. You can even tag, and this was a huge emphasis as well, is tag every single promotion for the vertical that you sold it to. So if you sold, let's say it's a promotion that's all around, we're here in Utah, so it's all around skiing in the wintertime and snowboarding. So we tag the promotion. It's a ski promotion or a snowboarding promotion or winter promotion, because sometime down the road you're going to have another client that fits very similar in that vertical, and since you own this data, you could market to those individuals who have showed interest previously, and that's going to teeter between first party and second party data here in a second. But yeah, you're going to be able to help with app downloads. You can even help push with, as I mentioned before, for example, a clothing store, that foot traffic. You can do geolocation to help push foot traffic so that people can come in and actually make purchases. We've seen a huge success in car dealerships in that regard, utilizing that feature to help drive traffic to help obviously increase the opportunity of sale for dealerships. Mortgage surveys, again, this is huge. And I know I said mortgage survey, but just surveys in general. Mortgage survey obviously is the example here, but you can literally build a survey of any type and any kind. Utilize this to your advantage. Combine it with a sweepstakes, help really boost and enrich that first party data that we're looking to collect, right? It's a very easy user interface to get things built. We have an advanced analytics to help with just the details of it. If you want to go into more of who's answering what and those type of things, a huge question type variety, conditional response questions, which basically means if someone answers a question yes or no, or however, whatever question you ask them, depending on what they respond with, you can give them a series of new questions. Okay, so that's huge, right? Instead of it just being a static, 1 through 10, you can have them go from 1 to 3 to 7 to 10, right? And skip other questions that are not relevant to them. We want to make this as relevant to them as possible and as quickly as possible, because we just want to be on, on the forefront of that, and being able to pass this information over is critical. And I can tell you time and time again, from the phone calls I've received and the emails I get from doing, trainings or one-on-ones with teams, and they sell a promotion and they're like, their advertisers unbelievably excited. We've seen crazy results. We've seen all this excitement and this build, like we've saved these relationships. These are the type of things that will help do that. And you have access to it. Second party data. Okay, so kind of talked about, and this might be the first time you've heard of second party data. Usually the main focus is first party data and third party data. Second party data is data collected directly from consumers, so your audience, but then sold to other advertisers in the same or similar vertical. Now, you won't necessarily be selling the data that's being collected, right? But so how do you leverage that data on your own? As I mentioned, with tagging a promotion, for example, let's just go to a car dealership. Let's say you have sold six different car dealerships and yet ran 6 different promotions, but you have a big car dealership that is, on your scope. You're wanting to sell them because that is the end goal. Well, you have just ran, let's say, in those 6 previous promotions, and the people who opted it in said, yes, we'd like to receive more information, and they've opted it in. You own that data. So instead of selling that data directly to the new dealership, you can go to the dealership and say, hey, listen, we have over 10,000 people who are interested in purchasing a vehicle. We can advertise and immediately begin sending promotions and sending marketing plans and sending details to help build and get some traction on this new promotion or these new marketing pieces. That is going to be huge. So when you go into have that conversation, say, hey, we have this data that we can tap into. Anyone who and then it goes into an opt-in. Since we're creating a new opt-in field for this new dealership, anyone who opts into that dealership, they now own that data. It becomes first-party data. They own it. They can cultivate it. They can expand and really engage with those users as much as possible. So again, that is some of the best way to utilize second party data within the platform, since you are collecting it in that sense. So, and again, it's repeat customers in the same vertical. And I feel like, especially with sales, like when I was in sales, because I was in sales for 8 years prior to my time here, I found kind of my own niche, which was finding niche markets. And so I was able to have those type of conversations. I felt very comfortable talking to the, similar vertical. And I feel kind of like the same with sales. Like we find our own, our own a method that we kind of stick to, and that's what we are really good at. And so if you can help build more and more relationships in those, it's going to help not only your company you're with, but as well as your partners, because you'll become more of an expert. So the second party data, it is definitely more specific and more reliable than third party data, simply because it's coming from a direct trusted source rather than with third party data. We'll get into that right now, which is going to be, collected data that it has like no direct relationship to the consumer. Basically, if a consumer goes to your advertiser's webpage or even your web pages as well, you really don't know much about who's visiting the website other than a few key characteristics, and that's helped by having cookies and different pixels and aggregators on your websites and your advertisers' websites. That really helps tell how long someone's on your website, what they're clicking on. Not much more past that, and the current structure for that, for example, I think we've all received ads. Like we go to a website and we start to receive general ads from a website. But if you're an outdoors person and you're really into skiing, but you're receiving kayaking ads and you have no interest in that, it kind of defeats the purpose, and that's wasted money, right? Everything that that is not personalized and you can't focus on, I don't want to say it's all wasted, but potentially it's not the best allocated funds, I would say. That's where first party data is just so much more impactful. And to be honest, there's a deprecation between third party data. And with that being said, with third party cookie deprecation, that's really going to allow marketers to focus on their first party data, which, that's collected directly from the customers. And with this data, they'll be able to really analyze and interact with the customer, with their brands, and provide truly personalized experiences to help, basically retain existing customers, grow new, create new relationships, and ultimately drive revenue growth. I think that's kind of been the pattern of this call so far. If you haven't seen that or heard that already, or caught on to that, but really it's that personalization. And with that being said, I kind of come back to this slide here in growing, enriching, and activating your first party data. It's a statement, but it's also a question. Are you growing? Are you enriching? Are you activating your first party data on? And I know for sales, is your teams having this conversation internally for marketing purposes? When you're having these conversations, are you asking this question to your advertisers? Like, if you went to an advertiser today, I think one of the first things I would begin conversing about is, how are they utilizing first party data? What are they doing? Are they growing it, enriching it, activating it? How are they doing that? And finding their methods. I can promise you there is giant holes in what they're doing. And when you find those pain points, you are able, have confidence that you are able to solve it. And I know it sounds so, sounds like it's like, oh, it's a simple promotion, but these simple promotions bring great results. Quality results and quality first party data. And with that being said, just to kind of go into what we have going on for the remaining of the year, we do have our national promotions. Just an emphasis on our summer cash that's just around the corner. Please, participate in this. It's a great way to have a good conversation with maybe some advertisers that want to have that prize tied to their name, even though it is a national promotion, and kind of participate. Even back to school giveaway, and then the pro football challenge as well. So lots of exciting things coming up just around the corner. Can't believe we're already talking about pro football. That is wild. I know it's still a couple months away, but at least wanted to mention that. Summer templates, I'm sure your teams have seen this. I mean, we since the new dashboard is the new platform is out and available, being able to access these templates, it's very easy to do. And again, there's still over 500, 600 of these, and we're still coming out with as many templates as possible. So with that being said, if you do have some resources, we're still migrating some of our stuff over to help.audience, but right now it's help.optivada.com and ideas.optivada.com. If you're looking for more of the sales structure, I'd suggest going to ideas.optivada.com for those national promotions and other ideas. And you can always chat in with our team as well. Any questions, even if it's sales related, if you just want to kind of brainstorm, if you want to email in and say, hey, I want to talk to Clint or Mark about a client and have us jump on a call, we love that. We absolutely do. Being able to use our creative brains and help build some campaigns and some designs. I know there's some people who are in this call right now that I've worked with directly to do just that have emailed us. And it's always fun, right? It seriously is, because we really like to see the success that comes from it. And it's always like, oh, we can do that. Like, it's always we'll bring up a few key points and to hear, oh, we can execute this or we can do this. And it's always a good time. Sorry to emphasize, I get too excited about that because it just is definitely a passion.